So you might turn the page and say, what do we need a whole page about how to do homework? And the interesting thing is how we're going to do the grading for this in our team-based context. So let me show you how this was going to work. There are going to be 6 of you on your team, and each one of you is going to go home to your separate house, and you're going to create the answers to the homework assignment. You're going to create 6 separate homework assignments. You'll bring those into class the next day, and I will pull out a dice. And I will roll it, and one student, in this case student 5, is going to present their paper to the team. And what they mean by that is they're going to hand it over to the team, and everybody on the team is going to sit there and they're going to look at it and they're going to evaluate together whether or not this assignment has accurate answers, and things that aren't accurate in what the person has answered, the team's going to mark with a little bit of maybe a red highlighter, and they're going to put a little sticky note on there or write in the margin and explain what the answer should have been. They're going to look to see if the answer is complete, and if there's something missing, they're going to have to make sure that they indicate that on the sheet as well so that they fill in that gap. And they're going to assess whether or not it's clear and logical. In the end, your team will get 1 grade based on how well you graded the assignment, not how good the original was. So it doesn't matter if the person that did the assignment did it hastily and didn't get a very complete answer to anything. If they come in and your team is able to improve that, then your team will get a good score. Now we have to be a little bit careful. We want to make sure that we do this in the right climate. The person who's presented their paper to the rest of the team here is kind of on the spot, and it's a hard position to be in. So we really want to create the atmosphere of being very supportive. That person, let's say that they're struggling in the class, should look forward to this opportunity to have this much feedback. I mean, imagine being able to get this much feedback on all of your assignments, one-on-one deconstructing of your assignment, trying to make it as good as possible so that you can see exactly all the places that you can improve is going to be really helpful. Remember, if we harken back to the idea that science is about making mistakes, but more importantly, about correcting those mistakes. And this system is going to allow you to do just that. Next up, quizzes. You'll notice at the very top here, of course, that there are no period-long midterm exams, and that's you can read about the rationale for that here below. So how will quizzes work for us? Well, you're going to come in and you're going to sit down as an individual and you're going to work on your quiz, and it's going to have probably typically about 3 questions that you'll go through and you'll answer as best you can, and making sure you justify all of your answers as well as you can. You'll turn it in, and then I'm going to ask you to sit down with your team, and you're going to do the exact same assessment again, probably focusing on 1 or 2 of the questions only, and your team's going to try and construct the best possible answer that draws in ideas from everybody. And that will get graded as well. And in the end, your total quiz score is going to equal 75% weight on the individual score, so of course it's really important that you do well as an individual, but also a boost from your team. Hopefully all of your teams are going to be getting 100% is my goal for this, and so that's really going to add up to a better total quiz score with 25% weight on your team score. So be expecting those, but a couple of caveats here are things to be aware of. Quizzes are at the beginning of class periods typically, so that we'll make sure we have time to discuss the answers. And that means that if you arrive after the quiz starts, you do not get extra time. And if you arrive after the quiz is done, you will not get a score. You will get a 0. And there are no late quizzes given. Of course, if you get into that situation and you miss the quiz, you may always use a leave day, or if you're sick on a quiz day, you can use those leave days. You get totally excused, no penalty. If you don't have a leave day, then you're stuck with that 0. You'll note, of course, that we don't have a textbook in this class, at least a written one. That's because you are going to be writing it. And this is a wonderful idea that's based upon a project that was developed at High Tech High School, which is in San Diego County. And we're going to be basically following their idea. You'll read a little bit about it here and more on this in a few weeks. So we're going to take some time to talk about peer assessments a little bit later in the semester, but this page does give you some of the way this all works out. Our goal here is to give credit where credit is due on teams, and the people that are really working extra hard to make sure that they make the best contribution to the team get rewarded, and the people that aren't showing up, that aren't coming prepared, that they don't just get a free ride. And we have a whole system for ensuring that this happens in a meaningful and productive way. You're going to be getting more information about this later in the semester when it comes up, but right now please trust me that this is a well-tested and robust method to assess your teams, and that this part of your score is going to work out very well. If you want to find out more information right now, you may read the Team-Based Learning FAQ, or you can even see exactly what this assignment will look like by going to Homework 8A, the peer assessment assignment. So I've saved here until the end, the last step in our crazy different things we do in the class, the daily report. And I've saved it for last because shortly after you finish this video, you should be completing a daily report. So what is that? Let me start there. Within 24 hours of the end of our class period, and we'll make exceptions on this first time, the first week of class here, I would like you to go to Moodle and fill out the daily report. It's a link near the very top of the site. And it looks something like this. You're going to fill out, in your own words, the main idea of the class period and some of the key things you learned. And also note, of course, that other people will see this summary eventually. It's going to have your name stripped off of it, but they will see what you write. So let's say I'm interested in talking about our class on radiation, and there's my summary. It might be a little bit longer than that when you're doing it yourselves, but this is a pretty good quality one that you can sit and read, come back to it in the video if you'd like. I'm also interested in asking you this: what one question do you have from today's class period? And again, other people will see your question without your name on it. So here's my question. It has to do with, in this case, something about the course content, but you can ask any type of question that's useful to you. If you're concerned about the logistics of the class, this is a place that you can ask them, and we'll see if we can see if other people agree that that's a good question. Scroll down a little bit, and you'll see that I'm also asking you to rate two different aspects of the course, both how much you learned and what your level of frustration was. And this is very important because one of the things research shows is that the more you are monitoring your learning, thinking about, did you learn something today, that the more valuable and deep that learning experience will be for you. So you're going to rate this here on the scale from boring, you learned nothing, that's a 1, all the way up to wow, I learned a lot. And let's see, yesterday, that radiation class, I learned quite a bit from that. I think it was pretty good. Not nearly as good as that lecture a couple days ago. It was just absolutely mind-blowing, but so we'll give that a 4. But you know, there's still a lot I didn't get, and I'm really kind of frustrated. It was kind of garbled. Professor D'Alessio really didn't make that clear, so I'm going to say I was pretty frustrated because I didn't get nearly as much as I could have out of that. And then there's this blank space that's totally optional. If you're interested in writing any comments to me that are just, this is a place to give feedback and tell me what's on your mind, it's totally optional. You get full credit for every day that you complete this report, and it is required for us every day that we have a class period. At 5 p.m. on the day after our class session, that's after 24 hours have elapsed, you'll be able to click on a link in Moodle to go to something called Google Moderator. And Google Moderator is going to help us see all of these answers. So all the questions that you wrote, for example, are going to say that they're written by me, added by Professor D'Alessio, but of course these are the questions that you've written. And you're going to look through all those, and you're going to vote on them. If you like the question, you can give it a check mark, and if you don't like it, you'll put an X. And in fact, actually, I'd like you to place just a maximum of 5 votes. You can do yes on a question or no, but just a maximum of 5 clicks, just so that you can save your time and also just save things to the highlights. And scoring for this, well, bonus points to the person whose entry earns the most votes for each of these. We'll make sure to take time to answer the questions that are the most popular, and those people will also get bonus points on their scores. Also, since we want to motivate your whole team, there will be bonus points to the whole class if more than 90% of you vote by the beginning of the next class section, and making sure that you, of course, all do exactly 5 votes each. And I can monitor this. There are 4 votes on 4 questions by 1 person here in my little example, because I'm the only person that's done the voting so far. But you'll be able to do that on here, and I'll be able to monitor so I can award those bonus points accurately. So you'll do the same thing both not only for the questions but also for the main idea summaries. You're going to see what your classmates thought were good summaries of the whole class period and what they learned. And again, this will give us a way for you to sort through other people's ideas, trying to identify the ones that are clearest. And in doing that, hopefully you'll be able to refine and improve your own ability to create those summaries, to summarize big ideas. And that is your goal. So what I'd like you to do right now is go to Moodle, fill out the daily report right now, and we'll see you in class next time.